How much do the enchants cost? Hey, what's up, everybody? A lot of people are not having fun with 3.19. I am also not particularly enjoying this league. I do think it can be fixed, and I just want to talk about this a little bit. Starting off, league mechanic. It is rippy as hell. The loot is bad. It's uncomfortable to run. It's super, super cramped. It's just a bunch of pillars, and it's like really annoying, tiny little thing. The monsters are tanky, slow, and will one-shot you off the screen, even if you have a giga-juiced hardcore character. And there is nothing new in the game besides stronger rings and like a pretty cute little new unique ring. While the stronger rings, we're seeing potential with, 150 life, bunch of res, all that. By making it not work with synth or influence rings, or I don't think it works on fracture rings as well. Any of like the really, really good stuff, all it does is give you more stats that are generally not that interesting. I'm sure people will find super crazy, awesome combinations. There's always that discovery phase, but because that this league mechanic is not particularly fun to run right now, especially for me, I'm in SSF hardcore. I'm not going to risk dying for pretty bad loot, especially loot that's just like not better than running a regular map. Maybe if people find out good examples of like crazy, crazy strong rings, I will reconsider. But I think the league mechanic itself, especially coming off of Sentinel, where you could just print really, really awesome, cool rewards. It was really seamless and fit into the game in a great way. Is kind of a tough little contrast, which is really sad because I really like the aesthetic. I really like the idea of learning more about the Kalandra lore. And unfortunately, I'm just not going to engage with it unless they fix it. Arch Nemesis is not in a good place. If we have to keep Arch Nemesis, I think it was okay at the end of 3.18. The loot upgrade is like nice, but it's not enough, especially with how hard these monsters get. The monsters have just a lot of stuff that's just not fun. It's not even like hard. It's just annoying, like the frost walls or the mana bubble. All it does is when I see that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like slowly kite the monster away, and it's just gonna be kind of annoying. And like the loot might be okay, but it's just not good enough. And then there's certain combinations, like you get like Sentinel Steel Infused Gargantuan, Vampiric Bloodletter, Effigy. You put all those things together, the rewards are just not going to be commensurate with that. And I think that this was a very, very big miss. My proposal would be make it so you can't have more than one Arch Nemesis modifier, no matter what, and then buff the loot a little bit for those specific Arch Nemesis modifiers. You can maybe even tune the numbers up a little bit to make it a little bit harder for that one modifier, but make it so you can't get multiple. And the thing is, Arch Nemesis spirals into all of the content in the game. Every single rare that you see will be an absolute pain in the butt. It is just kind of detracting from the fun of the game right now. The rework with Beyond having the Scourge monsters, it's like, okay, if I see Beyond on the map, I actually know it's not too rippy, until you spawn the Beyond boss. The Beyond bosses are really cool, but the HP on them and how long it takes to fight them seems really out of control, especially for the rewards. I fought one Beyond boss and I got a tainted chrome and a tainted armor scrap, and granted this was in a white map. Let's just say I wasn't impressed. Just doesn't feel super fun when I see Beyond on a map now. So I think that that needs to be tweaked. Harvest, we knew it was going to be bad. As soon as I saw Chris say this on the league announcement, I said on stream, oh, they're going to be tuning this down, right? Like they said, if we make this easy to trade, we're going to make it a lot harder to get the crafts, but they just did it wrong. I'm just going to go as far to say that they did this wrong. They made it such that Harvest will just give you not enough to even engage with. I did 3 entire harvests, and this is all of the life force that I got. As you can see, this is not enough to do a single reforge. Considering that the monsters are scary, it takes a good amount of time to still go into a harvest and kill all those monsters. And they don't even, outside of having a very juiced map, they don't even guarantee give you anything. My first 2 harvests gave me literally 0 life force. And with an encounter like that with challenging monsters, they should guarantee give you some sort of baseline. Honestly, they should set the floor. I know this is not GGG's regular balance style, but I think they should set the floor to like at least 1 reroll for a plot. I think that's okay, right? An entire harvest dropping 0 life force on a blue-white map is just, let's just say the very first node that I took was Black Thumb. I was going up here to grab Expert Reconnaissance, and then as soon as I ran my 3rd harvest and I got almost nothing, made a beeline to Black Thumb. Just not worth even showing a harvest in my map. It feels like they have a balanced team that just, they had to rework it, and they just said, okay, T1 maps, you get nothing. T yellow maps, you'll get a little bit. And then red maps, you'll get a little bit. Maybe you'll average like 10 to 15 rerolls per map. So it's like something, but especially for someone who is in solo self-found hardcore right now, it is just like, this is just insulting, right? It's like, fine, I understand the game's not balanced around SSF, but like, it's balanced around the fact that you have to trade if you ever want to engage with any of these. You have to run what, like 40 maps or so to get a single enchant, which is just like a nice little bonus thing that you usually put on your items. Like, these numbers are just tuned in a really, really weird way. I understand from the balance perspective, right? They didn't want you to do the old quarry farming or, T1 map farming, so you could just get the same life force that you would get from T16. This just feels wrong. I would rather them like lock the life force to with an item level, give me more life force at earlier maps, so at least I can do something, like lock an item level on it. So it's just like kind of bad life force, like you can't use it later on, but allow me to do some reforges and at least like fix my bad gear. We knew this was going to be bad, but it's like, maybe they're just like half ripping off a Band-Aid and saying, okay, we're removing Harvest next league. I don't know, but like, this just feels like a pretty big step back for me. And then if you're still playing this league and you're not quitting, what should you run? Expedition is still pound for pound the best content in the game, in my opinion. Gives you content from all sorts of different types of leagues. ROG and Tujin especially are godlike in SSF. It's just really, really good. If I was in trade right now, I would just be buying logbooks and running them, honestly. Like, I don't even want to run maps with all of those rares. We're even seeing I'm Exile run Heist right now. Heist is also door for door some of the best content in the game for your loot. It's also really, really good XP if you farm it efficiently. It is incredibly hard to beat Heist for the amount of rewards, and it has a bunch of league content. Best fossils in the game are basically Heist and Simulacrum, so that's really, really good. And then especially if you're in SSF, Delve is really, really good, particularly for getting like curse on hit rings or specific mods for jewelry or minions or stuff, something like that. Particularly in SSF, I am looking at Delve quite a bit right now. I don't understand how it is in this state on release every single league. This just always happens. I feel like if you just take 20 moderate to veteran players, put them in like SSF and trade and hardcore, try it all out for like a week or two, this stuff could be figured out pretty quickly. Harvest especially is such a hard, severe miss. I actually just don't understand how, if there was any listening to feedback with a competent like alpha testing team, that it was released in this state. Big thing is it needs to be fun earlier. You shouldn't have to wait until T16 maps to even engage in content. Like I said, I understand that you shouldn't be getting the same life force that you can craft your eye level 86 items in a tier 1 map, but just put eye levels on the life force or something, keep them compatible within a range, because right now, until you get to a red map, Harvest is literally unusable content, and it's frankly, it feels like a miss. It just feels like it is wrong. And then the other thing, this is just speaking from the perspective of someone who plays this game every single day for a job. One of the big reasons why I am in solo self-found hardcore right now is I needed something different. I needed to create a new style of play and new content for myself, because as far as I can tell, there is nothing new unless you are very excited about Galvanic Field and Lightning Conduit or just making new rings. There is literally nothing new in the game except for annoying Harvest and annoying Arch Nemesis and worse beyond. Yeah, if you loved last league, this is a perfect league to take off. That's I think that's the way that I'm looking at it. Or consider solo self-found or solo self-found hardcore. It is a very different way to play the game. It may not be for you, but it is a way to mix it up, create some content for yourself. Unfortunately, I really like the challenge rewards, and it is my job to play this game, so I will be going for 40 out of 40, but I'll probably bop over to softcore trade at some point to do that. I don't want to end on like the most negative note. I think a lot of the stuff could get tweaked and fixed. We did see them like emergency fix Arch Nemesis stuff last league, and I really, really hope in the next couple days we see some pretty severe fixes for these things and make it more fun, more interesting. I would love to do the league mechanic, but I am no way in hell I'm doing this in SSF hardcore. You know, I don't like to make super, super negative stuff, but when something just doesn't feel good, I gotta speak what I'm feeling. And I am not in love with this league thus far, and I hope they fix it. So yeah, I'm gonna go get ready for the stream. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna keep pushing the solo self on hardcore ladder, see if I can get top 20 occultists tonight. And yeah, let's cross our fingers and hope they fix it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.